So you found a house that you love and you're ready to move forward. So now what's next? Buying a home is a super exciting process and new chapter in your life, but there are lots of critical steps that can either make or break your purchase. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what happens after you find the perfect home so you're fully prepared for a smooth closing. Let's dive in. What's up everyone? My name is Jack Bouvier with the Bouvier Real Estate Group here at eXp Realty, helping navigate home buyers just like you every single day with this dynamic Saskatoon's real estate market that we have here. If you have any questions whatsoever, I'd be more than happy to connect with you. Feel free to reach out to me. My contact details are in the description below, and I'd love to talk to you and see how I can help. So let's say you found a house that you love. You want to buy it. What do? Well, you must submit an offer. You must say, hey, this is what I'm willing to pay for your house. These are the terms of the financing. These are the conditions. This is the inclusions and exclusions. This is what I want included in the house. This is when I'm planning on taking possession, and see if they sign. So I highly recommend you work with a real estate agent, as there are a lot of clauses in a real estate purchase or sale contract that can go either wrong or right in for your favor, especially if you're in a multiple offer situation where you have lots of people submitting offers. You want to make sure that your offer presents in its best light and work with a real estate agent that's able to negotiate on your behalf to help make sure that your offer stands out and actually gets accepted. So like I mentioned, there are usually 5 key things in an offer that are used for negotiating and also just for most importance in the contract. Like I said, you have your purchase price and the terms of the purchase price. You must consider how you're going to be coming up with the financing for that purchase price, whether you buy for it all cash, you finance the property with a loan or a mortgage of some sort, and how much are you going to be putting down on that loan, and as well as how much are you going to be financing. And you don't have to give the total exact details, but you need to give a good approximate value. And also there is going to be a deposit amount. So that deposit gets submitted once your offer gets accepted, and it is held in trust with either your real estate brokerage, with the real estate agent that you're working with, or the lawyer. And that only gets submitted to the seller once the conditions are satisfied. But if the conditions are not satisfied, then you get that deposit back. So you have to come up with the terms of the financing of how you're going to be purchasing the house along with the purchase price. And then next you have the conditions. And I mean, you don't need to have conditions. You can make an unconditional offer, and that means the sellers accept and it is an accepted firm sale upon the acceptance date. However, if you have conditions, and I highly recommend you do in most situations, for then you to do all the inspections and making sure that your financing is all approved and you're ready to actually make the purchase. Usually this conditional period, depending on the deal, is approximately 2 weeks for residential homes, and this is the period where you get a home inspection. You also get your financing all approved with your bank or your lender, and you look at all the other areas of the house and inspections that you can do. If you want to check out the foundation or the roof or the mechanical in more depth, or look at where the gas lines are located and all the other ins and outs about the property, the conditional period is the time to do that. So if and when these conditions are satisfied, then you can remove the conditions, and that's when it becomes an unconditional firm sale, and that's when you take possession on the property on the possession date. So the third thing is the possession date. You have to figure out when are you going to be taking possession. You must obviously go through all those conditions, but then you have another approximate 2 weeks before you take possession for the lawyers to transfer title, adjust the taxes, do all their work. And then you also have that time period to transfer over utilities in your name, get home insurance on the property, and essentially make sure that you're ready to move and actually pack all your belongings to the new property. Also, another big key thing in the contract is the inclusions and exclusions. So what are you going to be actually including in the property is the fridge, the stove, the extra freezer downstairs, the dishwasher, and the washing machine. Are they all included in the property or not? And also, if it's a tenant occupied property, then you must also consider, is that tenant going to be staying, or are you going to be evicting that tenant, and making sure that is all clearly outlined in the terms of the contract. And those are the main things that you're going to want to consider in your offer. And lastly, you just need to have an acceptance window. How long is the offer open for until the seller can actually legally accept the offer? I'd highly recommend, before you do make an offer, to get pre-approved. Know exactly how much you can afford. Your mortgage broker or bank will do a credit check, look at your whole financial situation, and see exactly how much of a house you can afford. This pre-approval will also set you apart when you are in competing offer situations, for you to submit that offer and actually present it to the seller and say, hey, I am pre-approved for this amount, so your purchase price will not be an issue for me. However, you do need to get the banks and lenders approval with that property before they actually do go and loan on the mortgage. So once you've submitted the offer, you got it accepted, well, now is the time to submit your deposit as well as to do all the conditions. So your real estate agent agent will help you provide the details as to where you submit your deposit, making sure that it's held in trust, and there's a time period in which you have to send over that deposit. And then as for the conditions, you want to make sure that you hire a professional home inspector, obviously, that uncovers all the potential issues, foundation, electrical, plumbing, that you review over all the necessary contracts and documents. If you're buying a condo, you want to make sure that you review over all of the estoppel and condo documents, or what's also called a Schedule C, which outlines all of the reserve funds, the meeting minutes from that condo that has occurred in the past, and what they've invested their money into, what sort of recent renovations are they planning on doing in the future. So reviewing all those documents with your real estate agent and your lawyer, as well as potentially the property condition disclosure statement, which outlines all of the disclosures that the seller has made on the property as well. And if there are any repairs that need to be done from the home inspection, then this is another area where you can come back to the seller and say, hey, we found some additional issues that we did not know about and we were not expecting to have to pay for. So is there a way we can work around the price or the ability for you to do the renovations in order for us to come up with some sort of final agreement? I'd highly recommend not to skip over the home inspection, as it is a great way for negotiating with the sellers, as well as just to uncover all the known details about the property so you know exactly what you're buying, and that way you can make a better informed decision. Another piece that you're going to have to go through within this conditional process is your financing. If you're not paying for it in cash, then you won't have to talk to your mortgage broker to get your mortgage approved. However, you're going to talk to your bank to get all your cash available, so make sure you do still have that ready to go. But if you are getting a mortgage, then you do need to talk to your mortgage broker or your bank and say, hey, this is the property that I am intending on purchasing. We do have an accepted offer. Here is the accepted offer. Here is the property details. And then they will go through their process to make sure that it is all approved. They're going to probably get an appraisal done on the property so they know exactly what that home is worth and that they're loaning on the correct market value of that property. And then once everything has been approved, the bank is also going to lock in the interest rate, all the mortgaging terms of your property. And then once everything has been approved, then they're going to waive the mortgage conditions. You're going to say that the mortgage has been approved and finalized, your conditions and financing has been all good. Your condition of financing has been all good. So now you can remove that condition. So if all the other conditions are good, you've worked with your real estate agent and the sellers to get all the necessary information and documents about the property that you're looking to get within that conditional period, now's the time to remove conditions, submit the form, say, hey, we're all good. It's an unconditional offer, firm sale, congratulations. Now is the time to prepare for closing. So this is the time period, like I said, where you talk to your lawyer to transfer over title, to transfer over and adjust all the taxes, and to sign off on the final mortgage documents so they can send over the balance of the funds to the seller. And then the seller's lawyer is going to do all their work and adjust their final sale price with all the deductions that they owe, so they get their net pay at the end of the day. But your lawyer is going to be responsible for making sure that the mortgage funds get transferred over, all the necessary title adjustments and taxes and everything else get done, making sure that there's no additional liens on the property and whatnot as well. This is also the time where you go and get your insurance coverage with your insurance provider or your bank. I recommend TD if you are here in Canada, as they do provide very good bulk insurance rates. However, working with an insurance provider, they can also give you lots of different options, as well as this is the time to talk to your municipality and getting the utilities transferred in your name to prepare for the possession day, so you actually have some heat and hot water. And so those are all things that you're going to have to get under your name, as well as getting the taxes in your name as well, which your lawyer will help you do as well. And if all those things are good, then you can also do a final walkthrough before you go ahead and actually take possession, so you make sure that everything was just as good when you originally saw it and originally bought it. I highly recommend having some additional funds set aside so you can make sure that you're prepared. Things such as legal costs, potential land transfer taxes. However, we don't have that in Saskatchewan, but if you're in Alberta or wherever else, then you will have to pay for that, as well as potential moving costs and all these additional utility and insurance costs that you're going to have to pay on a monthly basis. So having a reserve that you know that you can make these payments for the next years, I would say. And now the final part comes possession day. This is the time where you get to gather all your belongings, move it to your new house, bring your friends and family to celebrate, and your moving company, if you need any additional help moving that big old couch or TV that you have, make sure you change the lock to your new home for security as well. I always tell my clients this, as you never know if the seller still has another key laying around or what might happen. So make sure you change the locks, punch code if you want, get new keys for all the doors, address your new address with your banks, your employers, your government agencies, anywhere else, so you get mail sent to your new address as well. And also, just this is an exciting time to familiarize familiarize yourself with the neighborhood. What sort of local amenities are there? Talk to your neighbors. Say, hey, I'm the new guy in town. What's going on here? And just making friends in the area so you know that you feel like home and this is your home. So make it feel like home. I'd highly recommend to plan your move ahead of time, as you don't want to have any last minute stress of having to do all this stuff before you move. So making sure that you plan ahead and you're well prepared. Buying a home is a huge milestone, and congratulations for making it to this step. You want to try to avoid as many surprises as you can and make the process as seamless as possible. If you're thinking about planning to buy or sell and need any expert guidance, I'd be more than happy to help out. All my contact details are in the description below, along with all my free links to my website, my Calendly. So if you need any help whatsoever or have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to connect with you.